All right, guys, I wanted to share with you real quick. I don't know why it took me so long to order one of these or get one of these to try out, but this is the 𝔊𝔩𝔞𝔫𝔡�e. It's dubbed as its name. This particular one is the BJ8050-08E. Now, there are some other variants of this. There's a titanium one that's been since discontinued. I'm not even sure what the current status is with this guy, to be honest with you. I'm not super well versed with the Citizen dive watches. Like, I know there's a huge cult following with the Citizen watches and the dive watches in the same fashion that there is with the Seiko divers and watches. So excuse my ignorance in it. Hopefully I just really wanted to show it to you guys. I wanted to see it. I think it's super cool, and I was always afraid that it was, too big and too bulky. And I mean, it is, but it's still just way too cool. And same way as like we fall in love with some of the large Seikos. They're freaking cool, So you have a left-hand drive here. So it's a little weird operating it with the left. So I mean, you can flip it around, operate it with your right, and then that actually makes more sense, because when you unthread it, it's like it's just the case is flipped around, basically, is what it's like. So, but really, you shouldn't have to mess with that too much. Being that it's an accurate quartz movement. Once you set the time, you should be good to go on that. And then, the date function, you're going to have to alter that every other month. So we can bust out some specs, but real quick, I looked up the MSRP on it is $425. You're not going to pay that much. I actually paid $236 on Amazon Prime, but I did just look on there, and I think the price went up a bit, so maybe I caught it on the downward side of things. So, somewhere between $200 and $250, I think, is some pretty good fair market value pricing. Depending on the production status and everything, it might go up or down, I'm sure. But this thing is a beast, no doubt about it. You 300-meter depth rating, and you have a 6 millimeter crystal on this. I'm fairly certain it's a mineral crystal, but it does have anti-reflective coating on it. And I mean, just a well constructed case and watch. I did weigh this real quick, and it weighed in at like 178 grams, which is like essentially the exact same weight as a Seiko Monster with bracelet sized for a 7¼ wrist. They weigh like identical. So, and then I know there's guys that are doing the adapters, which I do want to order a set of adapters and try a 24 millimeter bracelet on this, because when you wear this, even when I snug it down, it does kind of have a top heavy feel to it. So depending on how you rotate, and a lot of things I do, I am, palm in like this, thumb up. So it ends up pitching the watch like over on the outside of my wrist. So kind of a weird feeling, but I mean, it weighs the same as this, but this is balanced out because of the bracelet. This weighs that much, and probably would not drop a much weight if you removed the strap. So all of that weight is concentrated to this, the watch head itself. So real quick, I'll do it because I didn't do it beforehand. We'll just do some measurements here real quick on camera. You are looking at a 48 millimeter watch, and it's round, so it's going to be 48 everywhere, excluding the crown and crown guards. So the thickness, you're looking at it about 17.5, but you can see I'm tucked down. If you were going to add the thickness of the rotating bezel, you're going to be a little bit thicker, so 18.4. You can't really get a lug to lug, so I'm not even going to mess with that. I'm not sure what else you guys maybe want to see. Now, to get the adapters, and I'll get a set and I'll install them, but basically you pop these screws off. You're going to remove this part, and then you put the adapters in, screw them back in, and then it gives you really short lugs that you can then attach a bracelet to. So I'm excited to do that. It's gonna be a fun watch. The bezel action is a little weird because there's nothing to really grab here. You end up just kind of putting your fingers here. So you can do it on wrist, no problem, but it's a 60 click, nice positive feel. It's different. It's not what you're normally going to be used to on most dive watches, but that can be said for this whole watch in its entirety. So really cool handset, super visible. You can tell this thing is super high function. So, and you can see that seconds hand snaps right into place and hits those marks, no problem. So I've actually had really good luck with the Citizen Eco Drive with that happening with pretty much all of the ones I've tried. So we went over the price and everything. This houses I think the movement they use, or module, or whatever you want to call it, is a B873. So it's just a standard 3-hand movement with a date. So you can see a little bit of the AR there, a little bit of that blue look to it. And then, of course, you have a really nice case back here. You have some information. If you guys can read all that. So there's a lot of guys out there that know this watch inside and out and collect them and everything. And this is, honestly, this is my first experience with it. It comes in a really cool plastic case. And I think it's going to be hard to beat the price. So you can see it next to the Monster there. You can see it's definitely way more robust in size and feel. So I'm going to toss this guy on the wrist. It takes me a second, so just bear with me. I'll show you what it looks like. The 7 1/4 wrist, and then we'll close out with a loom shot here. So you can see it on my 7 1/4 wrist. You know, it's a little bit closer to the lens, so you're gonna, you know, it's gonna look even bigger than it really is. You know, it is large. It has some presence, but it's totally wearable. It's crazy. So, and it's a super cool watch. Definitely fun. And you can see this, the buckle system, the way they do it, it is super secure. I mean, there is no way this thing is coming off wrist. So very well done. So if I can get this thing back off, it's actually easier to put on than it is to take off. Close out with a loom shot. Hopefully give it a little blast. I was gonna say the studio lights will probably give it more than enough to show on camera, but I gave it a little blast anyway. So you can see there's a nice blue colored loom, and then you have like a little bit of a green on the pip there. So you can see it next to the Monster here. So definitely on par with most Seikos that you're gonna see, and that bluish color loom that Citizen uses is very pleasant to look at in real life. Hopefully it kind of comes through on video, but to the naked eye, it is just very pleasant. It's way different than the green colored look that you're used to with the Seiko, which is, you know, a great loom, but I'm a big fan of the cool blue, and then you have the green pip up there. So super visible, really cool watch. I'm excited to own this for a bit and play with it. Throw some lugs on there and some bracelet options. So fun watch. I'm glad I purchased it. So thanks for watching, guys. I will talk to you very soon.